Hey guys, it's Righteous Sun,
and Earthly Angel.
and we are going to be talking about everybody's favorite topic. At least it's my favorite topic, sex.
Everyone likes it, but why is it so important?
But before we start, please remember to like, subscribe, and share with all of your friends so that you can come back for more hot topics.
So today we will be talking about our top 3 reasons why sex is important. And
We've also decided to bring you our what ifs at the end of this episode. And our what ifs are basically what ifs from the public. So it's emails that we get on a regular from people asking us certain questions and giving us certain scenarios. And we try to answer them the best way possible and give the best sound advice.
of course, we keep the names anonymous as well.
Of course.
How much sex is healthy sex?
As per doctor's advice, healthy sex should be about 3 to 5 times a week. So you should ask yourself that question: how often are you and your partner having sex? Comment down below, let us know. That rhymed. Share with your friends, have an open conversation about it. Talking about sex is fun, but it's also
important.
really important.
For some people, sex is at the bottom of the list, while others see it as a top priority. How do you see sex? And is it on the top of your list, or is it at the bottom?
For me, I do. It's at the top of the list. It's so important. But I know a lot of friends where it's not. And if you are a family with a lot of kids, you really have to try and find that time and make the time. And if you're working a lot, that's another thing. You might not get to see your mate until the end of the night when you're putting the kids to bed. By then, you are either passed out in your child's bed or you're on the verge of it watching Netflix, which is normally what happens at my house.
Yeah, same here. Sometimes, you don't have enough time to do so. So the importance isn't really important when you're constantly busy and you're not thinking about it.
So this is our top 3 reasons why sex is important to us. So we went down the list. We had maybe over 25 reasons why sex was important, but we wanted to dwindle it down to the top 3 reasons. And we want to share with you.
Mm-hmm.
So starting with
Spiritual connection.
number 1,
Yep.
spiritual connection. So as a Reiki healer, I have gone to many classes, and one book in particular that my teacher shared with all of us and has also told us to share with others. It's one of the books to have as a Reiki healer. It is called Hands of Light by Barbara Ann Brennan. Anybody can use it, educators, moms, parents, to learn a little bit about self and to be able to heal family in some way or another. And one thing in particular that they talk about, and I wanted to read in terms of sex being a spiritual connection, is just a little blurb that she has here saying, sexual orgasm is important for the physical well-being of the person. The mutual letting go into deep communion through giving and receiving in sexual intercourse is one of the main ways humanity has of deeply letting go of the ego, which is separateness, and experiencing unity. When done with love and respect for the uniqueness of your mate, it is a holy experience culminating from the deep primordial evolutionary urges of mating on the physical level and the deep spiritual yearnings of uniting with divinity. It is a wedding of both the spiritual and physical aspects of the 2 human beings. That is I feel like that is some yummy goodness.
Yeah, it's like one person, 2 people becoming a whole person.
Yeah,
right?
and the way that she puts it is is like music to my ears. So if people think that it's not really one of the top things on your list, when you hear something like that, know that it's on a whole nother level, and it's not just a physical thing, but it's also a spiritual thing as well.
It's like food for the soul.
Yeah.
You got to feed your soul.
And as women, we're kind of hungry.
Yeah. I think men are a little bit more hungry than women.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. But I think nowadays, I don't know, I think women are slowly coming out of that a little bit more and getting more comfortable with their sexuality and being able to own what it is that the feminine being really represents, which is a powerful being in more of like a humble way.
Yeah, they have like a lot of like healing techniques, like using the yoni and stuff like that, which is like a healing stone that you insert and you meditate upon the yoni to help your body open up to that whole new level, because our sacred spot is our private parts, our vaginas. So that is like life-giving space. We give birth. We have, menstruations, things like that. So we're
Definitely
connected to the earth.
Source. Yeah, it's definitely a life source.
Yeah.
And we need to honor that a little bit more and have a better understanding of it.
Okay, so our next one is stress relief.
Number 2, it's a stress relief.
So during sexual intercourse, our bodies release our feel-good hormones called Oxycontin. So what happens is during your sexual encounter with your partner, you orgasm and your brain releases Oxycontin within your brain and in your body, and it relieves stress and it relieves pain. A lot of women release a lot more of this hormone, which causes us to care about the partner more and love them more, because this is the feel-good hormone that we release during sex.
So basically, ladies, that means that we end up getting lost in the 4th letter of the alphabet.
Love.
The letter D.
Yeah.
We get caught up way too quickly. So please remember, let's make that a PSA announcement. Don't get caught up in the D. I can't lie. I've been there, done that.
Yes.
But make sure you keep a sound mind too, because it is such a sacral area that you can't just let everybody walk up into your house, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you like it to be neat, tidy, and pretty.
Yeah.
Right? This brings us down to our last reason, number 3, confidence.
Yeah.
Confidence is something that comes from within, but it could also be aided when it comes to sex and when you're actually having sexual intercourse. If your mate or the person that you're with makes you feel sexy and in some way builds your self-esteem in some way, then that is just another way it's like another piece to the puzzle. When you're with somebody who truly does love you, they will make you feel sexy inside and out, which makes you really feel comfortable with clothes on and with clothes up.
Yeah. It's all about confidence and
Yeah.
seeing yourself in a different way. So now we bring to you our top what ifs.
So just like we reminded you in the first half of this episode, our what ifs are questions that people send to us through emails. We do a lot of work with clients, and so we will be kind of bringing this out because it's not just something that is coming from that particular person. This is what we find is a general question that is being asked on a regular. So let's begin with our first one, and please remember it is anonymous, so we won't divulge anybody's names when we start this.
Okay, so our first question was, what if I'm very sexually active, but my partner is not?
That is a really good question.
Yeah.
How do you answer that one? Well, I would really say if one person is and one person isn't, a big thing is communication. being able to tell that person how you feel, finding the time. If you do have kids, it can be a little bit difficult to find the time. But what I kind of agree with is moments of spontaneity where you kind of just find that time in between. It doesn't need to be like a 45-minute long session.
Yeah.
It can literally be like 5 minutes, you know, a real quickie just to kind of get in there. And sometimes that can just spark something that doesn't normally happen in your everyday routine, especially when everybody's on routine on a regular basis, that sometimes it's nice to kind of come out of that a little bit and maybe it turns you on a little bit more.
Showing a lot more attention to your partner too also happens with spontaneous too, right? So, you know, showing them the little things, doing little stuff for them, like making them dinner or taking them out to a movie or something, getting that one-on-one interaction, right?
Definitely. Or
So-
smacking a booty, right?
Yes, or grabbing whatever, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, showing a lot of attention and affection can lead up to that point.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So that's what we would say.
Yes.
What would you say in that scenario? What would you do if your partner wasn't as interested in sex as you are? How would you kind of handle that situation?
So now our second what if is, what if your partner is being selfish with sex?
Being selfish with sex. Well, being selfish can be in so many different ways. So that could mean that they are wanting it so much that they're not even really giving their mate time to kind of relax. And really, to be honest, the vagina does need to relax every so often, right? Another way really could be that your partner
Is withholding it.
Yeah, is withholding it and saying like, I'm too tired or it's not the right time. That could be another way of being selfish with sex.
Or even thinking about yourself before having your partner climax. So some men are selfish when it comes to sex and they come before their partner comes and then their partner is left unsatisfied and upset.
And I want to add in too, which is something I read somewhere. Please don't quote me on this, but it kind of piqued my interest and I think I'll always remember it, is that women, even after the man ejaculates and we've hit orgasm, it actually takes us many hours to actually come back down to our normal state. So when they say that we can have multiple orgasms, yes, that is so true. If we reach that point, we can actually reach higher in our climax and it takes longer for us to come back down. So with that being said, even after your partner ejaculates and you're still up there, know that you can sort of like continue in whichever way that you seem fit to be satisfied. So it's really important to be able to satisfy both partners, really, in that type of situation.
Yeah. So how would you be able to deal with that?
Like I said, communication, it really is important. At the end, I'm not going to get personal about what happens behind my closed doors, but something that I find is about talking to that person to tell that person what you like and what you don't like. I also feel that you got to find somebody who's comfortable. Sex is not a clean thing. It's not a clean activity. It really is about exchanging bodily fluids with another person, being naked and rejoicing in that in a healthy way on both ends. And if one person isn't giving or receiving in whichever way that they need to, then that can, to me, translate into your everyday relationship. So if you can't be raw and naked behind closed doors, how are you in public? How are you in your everyday life? How are you in communication? So communication is a huge one. And I think a lot of people who are in relationships and who are looking to be in a relationship really don't communicate and really be authentic because they're too afraid to divulge their whole entire self to somebody because they're afraid that they might get hurt. The only way that you can really get to know a person is through talking to them and really getting to know them on every level, from physical, mental, spiritual, emotional.
Don't expect your partner to be a mind reader.
Right? We just
Because
helped out
we
a lot
tend
of
to
men
do
out
that
there.
a lot, right?
Yeah.
they're not, nobody is a mind reader. You have to communicate what you like and what you don't like, and in order to be satisfied, you can't expect your partner to know every single part that you like.
And I guess the last thing would be that if you do communicate those things and your partner cannot deliver that, what do you do in that situation?
I guide them.
That is true.
If
That's
they're
a good
touching
thing.
something that you don't want to be touched, you can gently remove them and be nice about it. You don't have to like rip their hand off of you. But if there's a spot that you don't like, just guide their hand to where you do like it. That way you're more interested in that position.
Right.
And it's more comfortable.
Yeah, and I guess it also helps the partner to understand in a more subtle way rather than
Barking
kind of
down the throat and be like, don't
Yeah.
do that. What are you doing?
Because
I
then you
hate
get this, meow, right? And then they don't want to perform anymore because they're overthinking, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So I hope that was really informative. I kind of like that. Did you? I hope you guys did. Please share. When we talk about self-care, this is, to me, self-care, right?
Yeah.
It is a chance for you
It's
to...
a top priority.
Definitely. And when we are talking about sex, it's not just a physical thing. It's on every level, which then in turn comes down to self-care, right? Knowing what you like to what you don't like, knowing what makes you comfortable to what doesn't make you comfortable, and being able to set boundaries and open communication to let other people, especially your mate, know how you feel when you're going forward in any part of your life. If you can do it behind closed doors, you can do it in your everyday life. I don't mean sex. Outside.
Yeah, we don't want to have sex.
That's a whole nother episode.
That's some kinky stuff.
Yeah. But thank you so much for watching. We will be back once again. This is Righteous Sun and
Earthly Angel. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share.
thank you.
Bye.